Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Today is December 2nd. And I have a guest. Hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, it doesn't let me flip. I'll go like this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my Ma T.
Hello.
Ma T's here with me. And Angela Jr. is taking a nap. So let's see how much we can get done. Okay, so we're reading, since it's the second, we're going to read Proverbs 2. Now this one's written a little different than the other ones I've been reading to you guys. So I'm just going to read, and then I'll stop if anything stands out. I might read the whole thing. Okay, this chapter's titled The Moral Benefits of Wisdom. My son or daughter, this is just who the writer was talking to. My son, if you accept my words and store up my commands with you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding. Indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk blameless. For he guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter into your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, wicked women, from men whose words are perverse, from women whose words are perverse, who have left the straight path to walk in dark days, who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways. This one's fun. Wisdom. Sometimes Proverbs makes me feel a little sassy. You know what I mean, Ma?
Yeah.
Like I'll be reading it and I think of situations that I've put myself in, or I've seen people in, or people who I used to be attracted to or wanted to be with, and then I read Proverbs and I'm like, goo. Like, whoa. It's like, you know what? Like, beauty fades. My goodness, but you see a nice looker walking. Ma, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Back in the day, when we were on the prowl, and we see what we like, what we're attracted to, and we're like, I want that. And when your mind's not right, you're attracted to the wrong things, and beauty fades. And then I guess after the honeymoon phase is over, you're like, what have I gotten myself into? You know what I'm talking about, Ma?
Yes.
You got any stories on that?
Too many.
She wild. But not anymore. Neither am I. Anyway, so this part is what made me go off. Wisdom will save you also from the adulterous woman or adulterous man, from the wayward woman, the wayward man with their seductive words, who has left the partner of their youth and ignored the covenant they made before God. I'm changing sometimes when I read Proverbs, I like to sometimes read it in all the pronouns so that it's I can personalize it. So from the wayward woman with her seductive words, from the wayward man with his seductive words, who has left the partner of their youth and ignored the covenant they made before God. Surely their house leads down to death, and their paths to the spirits of the dead. None who go to them will return or attain the paths of life. Thus you will walk in the ways of the good and keep to the paths of the righteous, for the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it, but the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be torn from it. So this one seemed more like a full story as opposed to the other Proverbs where they're like, why saying, why saying, why saying, why saying. So I had to read the whole thing. But that was all of Proverbs 2.
Yeah.
And I really liked in the beginning when it said, indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, this is Proverbs 2, 3 to 6. Indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as silver and search for it as hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. And that makes me think about how, we're all so lazy in our minds. Like, we want everything to be just given to us. We want to understand everything right away, but that's not how we were created. Like, we are meant to search for things. And I feel like this is going to be an ongoing message, like, to ask questions, to dig deep, to look past the surface of stuff. And, the fear of the Lord. I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I was little, I kept hearing people say, the fear of the Lord. I don't know if I told you this, Ma. It's so funny. So I'm like, I didn't understand what that meant. So parents, if you're reading the word with your kids, please explain to them what the fear of the Lord is. Because when I was little, I thought that I was supposed to be afraid of God. And I remember being a kid and going, I have to fear the Lord. And I would go, I'm so scared of you. I'm so scared of you. I'm so scared of you. And I'm like, I hope he sees me being scared. And it's so silly. I know a guy was probably like, you're cute. That's not what I mean. But the fear of the Lord is just understanding how finite we are as people. And we are created by this amazing creator who we will never understand. But when you seek after him, he will reveal things to you along the path of, trying to understand him. And the fear of the Lord is knowing how powerful he is, what he can do, what he chooses not to do because of love and grace towards us, But fearing the Lord, it's like, we don't really have that in our culture to like have reverence for things and to think things are sacred. Like, we're just like phone, apps, games, movies, all this stuff, like nothing's sacred anymore. And the Bible was written back in a time where, social media wasn't around. Like, people actually respected people. They had goals in life. Families taught their kids things. And, so when it says these things, we have to come out of our now brain and think, what is it trying to say? And fearing God is just stopping and realizing, like, how small we are, but how big he is, and how we need to respect things that he says. Like, I really like, knowing the meaning of sin. It literally just means missing the mark. So when you think about it that way, it's like God who understands like stuff that we will never completely understand, no matter what. And anyone who thinks that they understand everything, they don't. That just shows that they don't understand. They're like, I know everything. God is this is. Their eyes they're blind. And I've been blind, and I still have blind spots, which I'm trying to get rid of. But we'll never understand. We'll never understand everything God has. But I was kind of ranting. Mommy has a thought.
Well, not just a thought, but I have a different version of the or translation. I have God's Words translation, and I just wanted to.
I was reading from the NIV, but
so this one it made better sense to me, because blameless and this word to me are two different things, but in verse
deeper meaning.
It has a deeper meaning. It says 2 verse 7. It says he He has reserved priceless wisdom for decent people. He is a shield for those who walk in integrity.
I like that.
So and then everywhere where you have blameless, I have the word integrity. And some people understand the word integrity.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Whereas blameless has a different meaning to me.
Yeah.
But when you read it in this context of walking in with integrity,
yeah,
it makes better sense.
That's so important to it's so good that we have these different versions.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the meaning, but it takes it to a different level. And that also kind of goes along with what I was saying about how we're very lazy minded and we want things to just be given to us. But Proverbs says that we should seek it out.
Yes.
And as you seek, you get more. It's like investing. You can't, if you're starting out investing and you've never invested, talk to anyone who's good with money. They know good and well it's not a get rich quick scheme. We want to get wise wisdom scheme. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. And one day you could believe one thing and then the next day your mind grows and then you look back and you're like, ooh, that wasn't right. But you weren't wrong for thinking it because that's where you were in your mind. And then the next day it's like, okay, what can I get today? And then the next day you could read the same thing and you get something else from it. You're investing your thoughts. You are thinking outside of yourself and you will get a return on it, the amount that you put in. And if you were to do this every day, by this time next year, you will be a different person. And you will read the things and look back at the things you went through, and they will not be the same. I really liked
integrity.
I really liked integrity.
It just meant it made it deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you can be blameless on a different levels.
Yeah.
But when you put that word integrity in there, that really speaks to a person's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it speaks very close to the character of that person.
I like that. And and that's one thing that God's been trying to everyone will have a path that they're on and like a learning path, and what this particular person needs to learn for whatever it is that God's calling you to do. It could be anything. But for me this year, God has been trying to reshape my thinking and to what's right. Is He's reminding me that He's a just God. He's not fair. We get raised thinking that God's supposed to be fair, but He's not fair. He's just. If God was fair, then we wouldn't have been given a way out to be redeemed from the corrupt things that we do. Like we would have had to pay the price for all this evil that we do and that the world has done. And but so if He was fair, He wouldn't have made a way out. He wouldn't have given us the good news of Jesus living a perfect life so that He could take the punishment for everyone so that we can be blameless, and we can while we're on earth try to walk steps towards being like God in holiness. And I don't know, my mind keeps going back to that, but it goes again, reading other versions of stuff, it helps you understand more. That's investing your thoughts into knowledge and wisdom as well. This Bible that I have here, it's NIV. Hers is God's Word.
God's Word.
I like to read the New Living Translation. I like to read the Amplified version because that also breaks things down. It breaks down the Greek words and puts them in brackets so that you see exactly what it's saying, and then it takes it even to a deeper meaning. It's like all these versions, they're not changing the meaning. They're not changing the context. It's just it's showing you what the mark is, what the message is, and it's showing you more ways to see it, because everyone doesn't think the same, and sometimes one version can really cut deep into someone, And another version will be like, I wouldn't have said it that way. But someone else is like, that's exactly what I needed to hear.
Exactly.
But yeah, what I was saying before with sin, knowing a lot of times if someone says, oh, you're a sinner, we're a sinner, that's like don't you dare call me a sinner. But when you know, like the meaning of sin is literally translate to missing the mark. You think of a bullseye, and it's just, you throw the dart to the bullseye, and sometimes you just don't get the bullseye. And because God knows so much more than we do, and he's so powerful, and he just brilliance. He created us for certain things, and he knows the consequences of things that go away from how he intended it. Like, so when we sin, we're acting outside of what he really had created us for and what he had in mind, and so then we feel the natural effects of it, and it always hurts us, and we miss out on so much life when we don't aim for that mark. And just like I said before, as we invest our thoughts and we get wisdom, we can get closer and closer to the mark, because we're human. We all make mistakes. And even if you hit the mark one day, you might miss it again another day, but at least you're trying, and God sees that we're trying. And the more we aim for the mark, the closer we're going to get to it. And that is what life's about, as a follower of Christ. And that's just what I'm trying to do, because this world is funny. This world's gone kind of crazy. And especially now. And I think the best thing that we can do is to try to not let it get to us. And it's very hard, which is why you have to surround yourself with people who are on the same path of trying to just be better. Because if you don't, we're not strong enough. I had terrible postpartum depression. I had people around me. My mom, she helped me out a lot, didn't you, Ma?
Yes.
I had terrible postpartum depression. Like I could barely even get up in the morning. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want to brush my teeth. I didn't want to do anything. And I some days didn't even want to be a mom. And you have to surround yourself with people who are going to speak truth into your life, who are seeking wisdom, who can speak wisdom into you when you're not emotionally there. But just because you're not emotionally there doesn't mean that your mind is not going to absorb those things for when you come out of this, period in your life where you can actually feel things again. And, emotions are very fickle, aren't they, Ma?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like wisdom and love are a decision. And wisdom is doing now what you will be happy with in the future. And love, it kind of goes in tandem with wisdom. Love is a decision. It is not an emotion. Emotion comes along with it, and sometimes those feelings, you'll feel it. But love is a decision. Wisdom is a decision. And sometimes you just have to set your mind like an alarm clock. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, because our emotions will continue to lead us down a wrong path. And it's really hard. Mm-hmm. And we're not designed to do it by ourselves. You need people. You need to surround yourself with good people. And there's a lot of people in my life who you'll have people in your life who you think are going to be there forever. And then you find yourself kind of drifting, not on purpose, but you look back and those people no one's like trying to change. They're just happy with where they are. And that's cool and all. It's really, if that's where you want to be, that's fine. But I don't want to stay the same. I want to grow, and I want to surround myself with people who are growing. And so I hope you all enjoyed reading this with me today and hearing my off-the-cuff thoughts. Ma, do you have anything you want to say, like some wisdom? She's a wise woman. I love this lady.
Well, one of the things is when I was younger, I had a tendency to make fun of my grandma and the older people and look at them as being feeble-minded. But actually, if you take the time and respect those people and you sit down and you actually want to hear some of the experiences that they've gone through, there's a lot of wisdom in what they have to say. Wisdom comes with experience. And so sometimes it'll do you a good service to just sit down and listen to what some other people who have had experience and they are walking the walk. I'm not just talking about anybody. I'm talking about someone who's walking in the Lord, and their purpose is to do what the Lord wants them to do. Those are the type of people you do want to listen to. There's a lot of wisdom there. That's all.
I like that. Thank you, Ma. And by feeble-minded,
Yes.
What do you mean by feeble-minded?
Feeble-minded. A lot of times people they'll say, well, as you get older, you even me, I forget a lot. I got to remind myself of things, and things just don't.
You mean old and crusty?
Yeah, old. She calls old and crusty, but you just, things don't come as quickly to your mind. It takes a little while. And I always look at the brain now, even though I'm not a computer person, but I kind of think of my brain as being has to be reset every once in a while because like all the old thoughts are there, but newer ones just don't seem to stick, and it has to take time to search the database in your mind to find your thoughts. And so people will say they're feeble-minded because their thoughts don't come instantly like they do when you're younger.
Yeah, people don't respect their elders anymore.
They don't. Yeah, that's true.
They act as if they're just, they know everything and they're so smart. And
we grew up in the Stone Age and we don't understand what's going on. How they do it.
Yeah, like
we're dinosaurs.
Yeah, like people, respect your elders. We need to bring that back to society, and stop disrespecting old people, because they've lived a lot. And like I said in the last Wisdom Wednesday, it's like, it doesn't matter who you are. You have to look past it. You have basically, like what she was saying, are their words matching their actions? Mm-hmm. For anyone, be kind to older people. If they're walking right, like she said, take advice from them. Hear what they went through. Hear things that they did right, what they did wrong, how you can learn from it.
Exactly.
And I think it's really good, as opposed to just assuming that every old person is an idiot, or they're just trying to stop you from having fun. And I can almost guarantee that a lot of these older people, very wise, amazing people, who I can't wait to be older, because I hope that I can speak some life into someone my age now, like she's doing for me. I hope that I can help them, because we think that we're going to last forever, and that we will never be old, and that we're never going to leave this earth. And it's nothing to be afraid of. Like, it's just, that's life. We read about history, and all those people used to be here. It's an amazing thing, passing the torch. And we should enjoy life here, but we should just try to make it great and be better, and prepare for, what comes after. And getting wisdom now is just, I feel like that's all we can do. You're gonna have to. I think you have to trust that. They've walked the walk, and then one of the things that used to get to me is how some people have they'll try to tell you what you need to do and give you a lot of advice, but if they haven't walked in those shoes, then hypocrites.
You don't really have any reason to trust what they have to say.
Yeah, and they seem to have the most to say, don't they?
They do. They have a lot to say, but they don't have a lot of wisdom behind what they have to say.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you guard yourself from that too.
Yeah. Just A lot of people like to say, "Don't judge me." And people like to quote the Bible when it suits them, people who don't even believe in God. And that's everyone's choice. We have free will to choose whatever. But you can't quote the Bible at someone if you don't understand it. And say, don't judge or you will be judged. Or, thou shalt not judge. That's taken completely out of context. We're not supposed to judge if we're being hypocrites. Like, if we have really looked at ourselves, then we have a right to hold our brothers and sister believers accountable. If you see them,
exactly.
If you were given permission to hold people accountable, but there's a catch. Like, we have to be willing to hear from people holding us accountable as well. It can't be one-sided. If you are going to hold someone accountable, you have to be willing for someone to be like, what you're doing is not okay. And sometimes they might be wrong, but sometimes they might be right. But you have to be willing to accept, you know what? I need to hear what they have to say. And, we're allowed to have healthy judgment, because you make judgment calls every day. If you see a situation that's dangerous, you're judging that situation. There's nothing wrong with that. If you see someone doing something really stupid, that's a righteous judging. It's like, no, you can't do that. And you also can't use that verse to be like, I'm going to do everything I want and you don't have a right to judge me. Yes, they do. And they will. And the more or me, I'll say me because I'm speaking to myself, the more I push back on it, it makes me stop and go, is there something there that I need to work on? Because pride's pretty wicked. And everyone has it and I have it. And I tell you, getting married has really humbled me and continues to humble me, because I thought my poop didn't stink. And God's like, I'm going to give you someone who's going to really show you you're not as nice as you thought you were. You don't really love the way you think you do. Because if you were kind to only people who are always doing everything you want, there's nothing to brag about. If you learn and you humble yourself, and this takes time. This is not something that can happen overnight unless there's a miracle, which is possible. Learning how to love people who rub you the wrong way, learning how to learn to be silent, and keeping the long game in sight. Like, how can I love these people who can't stand me? Sometimes that's giving silence. Sometimes that's seeing that they need a need and helping them. You don't want praise. You don't want nothing. Learning how to respond, not in our human instinct, but to what, and it looks different for every situation. So I can't be like, do this, do this, do this. And that's why you need to get your own wisdom, so you can learn to have discretion and you can figure it out with each thing that happens. And but loving someone that believes everything you do, being kind to people who believes everything you do, or is overtly nice all the time, that doesn't make you a nice person. You won't know if you're actually a nice person unless you can be kind to someone who is completely opposed to you. So I'm speaking to you, Republicans. How do you treat your Democratic friends? I'm speaking to you, Democrats. How do you treat your Republican friends? Independents, libertarians? We're in the season of politics. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. How are you talking about the people who are different from you to the core? How are you treating them? What are you saying about them? That's going to change the course of history. That is what's going to make a difference. If we can learn to be kind to people who just rub us the wrong way. And like I said in the last one, look up Daryl Davis and what he did. Angela Jr. is waking up from her nap. Look up Daryl Davis and what he did to change KKK members' minds out of that lifestyle. It takes time. and there has to be a goal. And so I'm talking to everyone. I'm speaking to myself, and we have to be better, because I know I keep repeating myself, but if you're only kind to people who are kind, you are not a good person. You're not a kind person. We need to be better. We need to learn how to really, really rise above. And it is so hard to do that, so you know there's power in it. It's the only way we're going to change things. This Wisdom Wednesday kind of went off on a little tangent, probably because my mom's here and she just brings out the fire in me. She's an amazing mom, amazing woman. But I just want to try to put something out that's just different from what's being put out. I don't care about culture. I don't care about movies or actors or whatever. I love music, but there's more to life than just, there's more to life than just my talents. And I want to use those talents for good, but I also want to speak. Oh, baby girl. Oh, well, I'm going to go because my baby girl's awake. And thank you for joining me this Wisdom Wednesday. It turned into a long rant. If you've seen the whole thing, I applaud you for listening to me this long. But I'll be back here next Wednesday, whatever day that is, and I'll read whatever proverb it is and talk whatever God puts on my heart to talk about, wherever it leads. But today was Proverbs 2. Read it in any version you want, or I don't know. Send me a message if you get something else and you want to talk about something. I don't care. I'm just talking out my butt. Love y'all. See you next time.